You love being single, but you still want to have kids. Stay tuned. Okay, welcome back to the Anthony Spade channel. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and go ahead and hit that notifications button if you haven't already. Okay, today we're going to be talking about people that love being single. You love your freedom, but somewhere in your heart, you still want to have kids, right? This is something that most people nowadays are battling. It's the simple fact that naturally you want to have kids. Every mammal on earth wants to have kids. Every insect, everyone is constantly mating to have kids. The dangers of what comes with a kid is normally money, finances, finding someone to pair bond with the world that we're living in the wild, wild west. Everyone's thinking self. So it makes it less attractive for a person to want to be in a relationship with another person, to even get to the point where you want to have children. So today we're going to talk about what are your other options that you can do besides meeting someone, falling in love, playing that role, having kids, and making your life miserable. Let's talk about it. You must understand why you want to have a child. The best thing for you to do is surround yourself with a person that has kids, or start talking to people that have kids to make sure that this is the thing that you want to do. In a lot of cases, you have a lot of single people that have reached success in their life. They're looking at their bank account and they're looking at their debt ratio and they're saying, you know what? I have a good amount of income coming in. My mind is straight. I would love to have a kid because I'm in a more settled mindset. See, a lot of people, when they get around 35 through 40 that are successful and don't have kids, will start looking at the structure of their life and they're saying, you know what, maybe I could go back and do this. But when you have that thought, what you want to do is go around people that have kids and talk to more people with kids so you get a better understanding of what you really want compared to what's going to be good for you. Because a lot of parents that do have kids are struggling check to check, not only financially, but psychologically trying to keep up with children in their mindset. It makes it hard for them to be raised because the parents have to stay just as focused on their job as they do raising their child, which creates a lot of stress. Next, an option that you can do is sponsoring the child. Now, there's a lot of kids out there that do need help, that don't have money, that don't have parents, that are constantly looking for sponsorships. There's a lot of programs out there to where you can help a child out and take care of a child, but it may not be your child and it's less hassle where you could just give money and give some attention. You could sponsor the child. Maybe that make you feel better. That's an option that you can take on. Next, we're going to talk about adoption. Now, I don't know too many single guys that go for adoption, but you have women that are constantly going to the adoption agencies to get children. There's more than enough orphans that are available for you to adopt, that maybe try an adoption agency and then go through the process of getting a child, but you must understand the responsibilities that's going to come with a child and the amount of money that you're going to put out to actually pay for a child. Children are more expensive than what they've ever been in today's world due to the pressures of life and the cost of living. So even just going through the adoption process could be treacherous, but it could be cost consuming as well. Next, something that I've researched on, but I can't really put the websites out there, is co-parenting websites. Now, they have a lot of websites out now to where two people that want to have kids can actually come together and have an arrangement to have a child, and it's split down the middle where it's 50-50 taking care of a child, which I think is like renting a child. A co-parenting website that actually allows you to meet with someone else and then you two get together and you have a child, but you just focus mainly on the selfish reasonings for a child. So you want a child to fulfill the void, they want a child to fulfill the void, but you two don't want to be together in a relationship at all, but you two still get a child that's yours. On the co-parenting website, you can get a surrogate, and the woman can carry, and you and the woman can split custody, and you will never be in a relationship. You have websites out there now that would allow you to do that. That's an option. Next, a surrogate. Actually finding a woman to actually carry your child with another woman. Or maybe it could be her egg as well, to where you want a surrogate to take care of these children. Now, that's an option that you can take. I don't know many people that actually go out and get surrogates to have a child. You mainly see it within celebrities because they want to maintain their look and they want to maintain their body. And you also have women out there that can't have kids that are looking to have a surrogate so they can have some type of connection. Now, surrogate is another way to go, but once again, you're a single male. You have to understand, if you still want to be single and have a child, it's going to be a very hard process and a very long process that you have to go through if you want to skip the meeting somebody, pretend to be in love, go through the mental abuse process. You know, you can always do that. There's more than enough desperate women that are out now. Trust me. It may look like there's not enough desperate women, but there's more than enough desperate women. Next, you could be a sperm donor. Now, you got to watch out with this because you had lesbian couples that went and got a sperm donor, and then they sued the sperm donor for child support and won, and it was a lesbian couple that took custody of the child. But they went to a sperm bank, got a sperm donor, and still sued that sperm donor for child support and won in court. Now, you have options out there as a man, a single man, what you could do to get a child. Trust me, if two white guys could adopt two black babies, you can do whatever you want to do. All right? But you have to look at the cost that comes with it. You have to also understand the responsibility that comes with it. And that 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be raising your own child in today's world. The things that you need around you to raise a child to make sure it's healthy and that can connect with everyone else, it's all part of a gender now. But we're having a gender war. So raising a child now to what you want it to be, in my opinion, the adoption thing mainly is good for lesbians and gay people because children are not going to judge them. This is why those couples are good for adoption agencies. But when it comes to a straight guy that's looking just to have a child, it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very hard for you to do so. My thing that you should do is probably find you a needy woman, a desperate woman that wants to have a child. You have a lot of women out there now that are very desperate, that feels like if they have a child, that it's going to help them feel gratification in life. It gives them something to love. A lot of these baby mamas out here, that's exactly what they've done. They've found a desperate man to have a child with. This is why you have so many ugly women with a lot of kids, because it's always a desperate man out there. Women, the older they get, they don't really need to be in love to have a child. You're going to learn that the more you're in this red pill knowledge. So my suggestion, learn as much red pill knowledge as you can about a woman. Find you a young buck with the knowledge you have and a younger woman, and mold her to you if you got the finances to take care of it. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of MGTOW, a lot of red pill guys, they're mainly red pill and MGTOW because they're broke. Life changes when you get money. Life changes when you're successful. Life changes when you're stable. A lot of stable guys can find a desperate woman to have a kid with and then have an arrangement to co-parent. That's very easier than what it looks like. But first, you must figure out who you are, and you have to gain the success first, and you have to gain the wisdom in order for it to work out. There's options for you. But do you really want to exercise them? Looking at the conditionings in the world that we're living in nowadays, I don't suggest having a kid with anybody. No matter how much you lust for it, or I mean not lust, but how much you curiously you want to do it. we're pretty much at the end of the world. Not really at the end of the world, but we're leaning in that direction, and there's no need for you to add on any extra stress. So follow the rules. Go around people with kids. Start reading books. Start looking around, paying attention to a lot to make sure that it's something you want to do. It's not something that you just thought of because you was bored. This is Anthony Spade. Hasta la vista.